Welcome back to the channel, guys. Alvi here. I'm here with my boy Justin. He just got back from Continentals. So he went out there, he won his pod and last chance qualifiers, and we were just gonna do a deck profile. He'll tell you a little bit of how it went, and then we'll get into the deck profile. So give us a little bit of your experience going out there.
So first and foremost, my name is Justin, and if anybody knows me, I'm a Ruby Amethyst player, but I just felt like Ruby Amethyst was falling short in the format. So I played something that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree on, but I decided to go with green purple just because of the fact that it has a great matchup against Ruby Amethyst. So I'm not a master at this deck or anyway, but it performed really well. Can talk about the matchups a little bit later on.
All right, let's get into the deck profile.
Sounds good. So we play 4 Diablo, 3 Clarabelle, and then 3 Merfolk. So these are all the 1-drops in the deck. Diablo really good to trade into things and then also net you advantage by drawing cards. Clarabelle, of course, being able to shift is really strong, but then also against the red-blue matchup, this becomes really well into popping their items before the Flabbersham gets on board. And of course, just going really wide and aggro, Curse Merfolk is probably the best thing you can play on turn 1 if you're on the play.
If that's the best card, why didn't you run the 4 copies? I only see 3.
No, yes, of course. So I still wanted to be versatile because there's a lot of Steel Song in the meta. So I opted to play 3 of this and also 3 Bonsai, just so that if something does have to trade with Merfolk, it stays on board, but then the Bonsai will be able to clear it as well.
Awesome. All right, so that's all the 1-drops. We'll do the 2-drops. I see the Go-Go already. No-brainer right there.
This card is absolutely insane. For Go-Go, you have to play 4. We're playing 4 Ursula. We're playing 3 Bonsai, like I mentioned earlier, and then we're playing 3 Snake. So Go-Go, especially against blue or even in the mirror match, hitting something for 4 lore, hitting something for 7 on Automata, which I did in the main event, absolutely insane. Go-Go is just your alternate win condition outside of just White Rose or Goat Bounce Goat as always. Ursula, of course, on the draw more specifically, and then against Steel Song, you want to be able to rip their hand, but also you can boost it with Crab, and then it trades efficiently with other cards as well. And then what I was saying earlier, Bonsai, this card actually did really well for me throughout the whole tournament, just because of the fact that it's a 3-2 stat line. It's not good into Steel Song, but everything else I just felt was really powerful, and that's why I decided to go with the 3 Merfolk and then the 3 Bonsai. And this card, I probably should have played at 4. 4 is most likely correct, but I felt myself just wanting to be more aggro on the play and the draw. So I wanted to save this for later on, either bouncing Go-Go, bouncing Goat, bouncing White Rose, just to finish out the game.
I've seen a few people kind of drop the snakes, and then lately they've been adding it back in. How do you feel about that? Would you play in the list would you ever play the list without the snake?
I tried it. I just felt like I was missing it because one thing that I didn't realize is that with 10 ink, you can Goat Bounce Goat with the snake, but then now you can Go-Go Bounce Go-Go.
That's insane.
So you could be at like 10 and win the game. You can be at 12 and win the game. You don't necessarily need Goat Bounce Goat. You could just bounce the Go-Go like you would with the Goat anyway.
So late game, it's one of your saving graces.
Exactly. If
awesome.
I'm like completely out of the game, that alone wins me the game.
Awesome. What are the 3-drops?
Going into the 3-drops, I'm gonna have to give this card like the specific highlight because this card literally is insane. I played 2 red-purple in my pod, and this is just to get rid of the Flynn, and then they still tried to establish the Flynn because it's not immediately taken away from the game. But then when they do, I just drop another one, or Elsa if I get to 5. But also, it's just crazy against the mirror. I was on the play, and then he plays Genie, I play Cloud Kicker. He plays the Genie again on his next turn, and then I play Cloud Kicker again. Never being able to establish the Genie, even though he's drawing cards, while I develop my board, and I know that there's no way in the mirror to get rid of a wide board, and I just ran away with the game. So MVP of the whole tournament.
Yeah, Cloud Kicker is really good, man. That card's insane too.
It's crazy. So for the rest of the 3 drops, we're playing 4 Madam M Fox, We're playing 4 Merlin Crab. We're playing 3 White Rose. And we're playing 2 Friends on the other side. I was actually able to get Miss Amber to sign mine whenever I was at Continental, so shout out to her. These are something that I need to keep forever.
Awesome, awesome.
So Fox, of course, great in any purple list. It's essentially the best bounce, but I definitely felt like Merlin Crab was the other MVP of the tournament outside of Cloud Kicker, just because of the fact that same thing, you bump up your Diablo, you bump up your Ursula, and then you still establish 2 threats on board. And then at the end of the day, if you need to deal something bigger like a Tamatoa or Cinderella Shift, Fox and Crab is able to take it out in one go. White Rose was somewhat underwhelming. I kind of realized that it's not something I wanted to play on 3. And then also at the end, I'd rather go bounce or goat bounce to go for game. So I can definitely see like cutting this down to 2. I wouldn't entirely take it out of the deck. And then most lists right now aren't running any Friends on the other side. What I've seen in testing is the fact that I still needed card advantage, but whenever I drew these, it was crazy. Whenever I already had board advantage and didn't need to clump up my hand or I had Clarabelle coming, then I would just ink this. So very versatile. I think 2 is the perfect number for this deck.
What I've noticed is the cards that we would play early less set are now becoming more towards the end of the game, like the snakes and the friends. The tempo's so fast now, you kind of have to ink those, and then just at the end of the game when you're running out of gas, those are the cards you kind of want to see.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
No, yeah, 100%. And that's why we only play 2, because we want to be able to see the cards that are able to get rid of the threats early on. And then, like you said, whenever we run out of gas and then we draw into this, just because we're playing 2, it helps us bring us back into the game and slowly close it out.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's do the 4 drops.
All right,
we
4
already
drops.
saw the goat. It's a
4 goat.
no-brainer.
Always. We're playing 3 rabbit, and then we're playing 4 genie. So 4 goat, self-explanatory. This is the common split that you see in green-purple. If it were up to me, I would want to max out on the rabbit, just because of the fact that rabbit, when it leaves play and when it enters play, you draw a card. So what I have been seeing is that when you play genie on 4, they get rid of it, and then you don't get any advantage. If you play rabbit on 4, you draw a card, and if it does get dealt with, you at least draw another card, getting you to more outs, or just getting you into those winning positions with having go in hand and then being able to close out whenever you need to. So if it was up to me, and if I continue with this deck, I'd probably play around with the ratios, but this was perfectly fine. I do believe you still need to play a split of these if you're playing green-purple.
Those cards are amazing. They look so good too. But if you're lucky if you pick those up early, because they are expensive now.
I think they're spiking at the moment. So for the 5 drops, we're playing 4 Elsa, and then Belle. That's getting really good play right now, especially since it won in EU. So the Elsa main combo play, of course, is to when you play your genie first, and then they play their genie, then you go Elsa on 5, exert, and then attack with both. So that's why I still feel like genie should be played in the deck, and especially at least like a 3 of. Other than that, Elsa is a great aggro threat. It's going to be able to like deal with the Lilos that are coming back. You can boost it with Crab, so any other evasives needed to be taken care of, Elsa does the job. And then of course it's like partner in crime in my opinion. Belle, I always thought this card was like really good. It's just that it needed to see some actual gameplay to show the true potential. I see this card as only a 1 of. It kind of needs another card to be useful, but nonetheless, actually without this card, I was thinking about cutting it, but I decided to put it back right before I left my hotel in California. Without this card, I would have gone 1-1 against my round 1 opponent, or my round 1 opponent would have gotten a win, and we had to go to game 3. And this was able to secure the 2-0 against him, so happy I played this.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get a good shift target.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. We'll see. Next set's coming up. And then the last 3 cards of the deck, Clarabelle, of course. I actually didn't play this card as much as I wanted to, but in my round 4, it was actually insane. The play was I set up a Clarabelle 1-drop on turn 4, and he Elsa'd it and got rid of it. But on my next draw, I drew into the second Clarabelle. So I kind of baited him by inking this Clarabelle and thinking that it was out of play. He drew a lot of cards, and then when I got to 7, I played the second Clarabelle, and then it was pretty much a game from there. Other than that, I would probably see to try a version without it, but it was perfectly fine. I wouldn't necessarily say that I would have lost that game if I didn't have that play, but nonetheless it did, and I'm happy about it.
Awesome. That deck is beautiful. I haven't played this deck myself, but it seems to be getting a lot of traction since the beginning of the set. And if you played against it, you can see why. It has a lot of strong cards, a lot of my favorite cards in there. The whole purple engine is good. So it's just a lot of purple war right now.
100%.
And so I just wanted to ask Justin some questions, let him explain how his rounds went. So first off, how many people were in the pod, and can you kind of explain the numbers to people who aren't really familiar with how it works?
Yeah, so with the LCQs, there's 32 pods with 32 people in each pod, so around 1,000 players. And whoever was able to win their pod, single elimination, best out of 3 games, was able to compete in Continentals.
That's insane. So how many matches do you have?
So I played 5.
All right, so you won 5 matches, single elimination, and then you made it into the main event, which is amazing. We had, 4 players from Houston make it into the main event?
Yeah, so I was gonna say when we got there, but Justin Shaft, he got his from Seattle, he made top 16. And then me, my teammate Luis, and also Chris, all from Houston, was able to win our respective pods and gain an invite to Nationals.
Awesome, awesome. Is there any specific matchups that you want to talk about from the pod, or should we jump to the main event?
As far as the pod, I would definitely say round 4 was my toughest matchup. It was against Blurple, and considering I talked to some of my friends that were also at the event, that Blurple was a hard matchup for me. I was able to win the die roll, but nonetheless I didn't feel comfortable, and also just not knowing the matchup. But I won the die roll and was able to just win game 1 and game 3. Game 3 was a grind game, but like I said earlier with that play with the Clarabelle, it worked out for the better and just went into round 5 and won the whole thing. So very
It
exciting.
must have felt amazing. I know you got a prize card from entering. Was that the invited to the ball promo?
Invited to the ball promo. Unfortunately, it already got sold while I was there, and also the foil Baymax sleeves. But I had them for a moment, but it was good while it lasted.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's get into the main event. You kind of break us down how it went for you.
Yeah, so I was gonna go home and test a deck list of Amber Steel, some sort of variant, but unfortunately I was too tired, so I knocked out. Decided to just stick with green purple because I was playing really well in the LCQ. When we got there, they had breakfast hosted for us, which was amazing. And then we shortly got into our player meeting. We got our invited to the ball. We got our foil Baymax sleeves, and then the event started. I already knew what I was getting myself into, and I probably should have played Ruby Amethyst because of how comfortable I felt with it, and it's the deck that I know thoroughly. But I'm not regretting my decisions at all. My most memorable matchup that I had all day was, I believe, round 5. I played against Chris Louie. He got second place in Vegas, playing green steel. At this moment, he was playing Diggy Diggy Hole, and he played it in a way that I have not seen any person play that deck. He knows that in green purple, you don't have much actions compared to other decks, so he's actually not questing with his daisies just so that I wouldn't get advantage. And then as soon as he was able to create a board that I couldn't get rid of, then he started questing. it's clear to see that these bigger players who test and make sure that they're ready for each event just know what they're doing. And overall, just the experience of it really helped me. It's going to prepare me for the next season of Disney Lorcana Challenges.
Awesome. So we just want to keep this nice and short. We're about at 15 minutes now, so we're going to close it out. I want to thank Juztin for hopping on camera and giving us his deck profile and kind of talking about his experience. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Oh, 100%. So first and foremost, my wife, Leslie, she's always supporting me and then always making sure that I do my best. Without her, I definitely would have been able to make it. Shout out to my team, Inkstained. Once again, my teammate Luis was able to make nationals with me as well, but also Sean and Andrew, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Omega Gaming for sponsoring me as always. Best local in Houston, so definitely check them out. They also have a TCG player, so if you wanted to go over there, buy product, buy singles, definitely is the place to go. And then last but not least, just shout out to everyone from Houston. Without y'all, I probably wouldn't have been able to even make the event. All your kind words and everything was just amazing to me, so thank you truly. Thank you.
Awesome. Do you have any plugs you want to put in, some social media or anything like that?
No, I'm good.
This dude's a ghost. Thanks, Juztin. Appreciate it.
See you later.